Cowboys training camp continues. Stop me if you've heard this before. There's still no new deal for Dakota Rain Prescott as he enters the final year of his contract. Dallas also has to pay CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons. Our Jeff Darlington has more.
I think that the Cowboys like the idea of a lame duck year for Dak Prescott to prove his value to the team once and for all. That is a very dangerous spot for a team to put themselves in, and I believe that they are only doing it out of a deliberate nature to find out what they have in Dak Prescott and decide their future from there.
I just have to vent for 1 second. I'm so glad I canceled my whole trip down to Florida because of this Hurricane Debbie Downer, and there's like not a drop of rain. Did you see Jeff's window? And here it's like a monsoon.
Terrible weather.
Champagne problems, Molly. Champagne problems.
You're supposed to be my girl. All right, Kmart. I don't know if I've asked you this before, so I want to make sure to ask you now. Has Dak already proved his value to Dallas?
Absolutely, yes. He has. You can question, like, oh, is he a dog or not? Like, can he get the job done? But to this point, what do we always say about the Cowboys? They're going to give you 12 to 14 wins in the regular season. That's pretty good compared to some of these other quarterbacks. When you look at Dak, he was a front runner for MVP race for most of last season. Right, Mad Dog? Yeah,
I guess so. Probably.
Yes, no, not a problem.
Look alive.
Not a problem. I went to you real quick for just a quick confirmation.
You caught me.
Yeah.
You caught me.
Okay, confirmation.
Some coffee.
But the reason he has already proven his value is because he has gamed the system so beautifully. He has maximized his leverage. And when a player does that, yes, they deserve every penny because they have figured out, okay, you're not sure about me? Okay, I'll wait a little bit. But now it's his time. He can be, after the season, he could be gone. And that's how, to me, he has masterfully, him and his agent have worked this situation wonderfully. I will say, for all the Dak haters, the grass, you know, not always greener. You might have a significant other at home. You might say, I mean, they cool. You know, we've been together a long time, but I just don't feel that love. I just don't feel it anymore. It's not exciting, right? Then you think, oh, let me hit these streets. Let me see what else is out there. Okay, there you go, walking those streets, right? And then you dibbling, you dabbling, you're figuring out, okay, maybe this person could be it. And then only to realize that person is flawed too. That person isn't everything I need. So when I look at Dak, when people want to criticize him, is he the greatest quarterback in the league right now? No. But who are you going to get who is better? And when you point at Dak, keep in mind that the Cowboys have been disappointing since the 90s. When's the last time they went to the Super Bowl, Mad Dog? Almanac. When was the last time they went to the Super Bowl?
95?
You really carry an almanac?
That's my guy. That's my guy.
I'm just wondering.
That's my guy.
Do you go to the library, the card catalog, when you do your book
The
report?
NFL sends me their facts and figures. Nobody has this.
Encyclopedia Britannica. I remember when the guy came to my house and we bought the encyclopedia. It was like a big day.
Now we're dating ourselves. We don't need to date ourselves.
I know, whatever.
But the point is, Mad Dog, he's so crazy.
You are nuts.
Nuts.
Welcome to the digital world.
That's the point. They have not, whether you want, and all these quarterbacks since Aikman, you want to point at Dak and say he hasn't gotten the job done. They haven't been getting the job done since the mid-90s. Yeah. So whose fault is that?
Go ahead, big time.
I get it, but the guy who have not been getting it done, we're not making $50 million a year.
Mad Dog, we're not going to talk. We're not going to. Mad Dog,
in people's
it's a salary cap league. You have, if you're going to pay the quarterback that amount of money, you have to win. I love what Jeff Darlington said. If I was the owner of the Cowboys, I'd do the same exact thing.
Nope.
He's going to play for his supper.
Nope.
In 2000, he's been awful in playoff games. You are a Cowboy quarterback, and you're making that kind of money. You got to win in the postseason. He has not won in the postseason, and he has not played well in the postseason. And if I'm Jerry Jones, I'm doing the same exact thing. Let him play for his supper.
You know who was awful in the postseason and got paid before this last postseason? That was Lamar Jackson.
Well, I would say the same thing about him.
That doesn't count. It's not the way it works in the NFL, where you're telling a quarterback, show me before I buy. Show me before I pay you. Kirk Cousins changed that narrative in 2018 when he signed a fully guaranteed contract with the Minnesota Vikings. How many playoff games had he been in at that point? 1. How many wins did he have? 0. Look at the list of top quarterbacks right now. You've got Trevor Lawrence, 1 playoff win, highest paid quarterback on an average annual.
Talk about Justin Herbert. Talk about Justin Herbert.
He's on my list too. 0 playoff wins, along with Tua. 0 playoff wins. Jordan Love in there too. You don't need Like, that's just not the way it works. You have to be like the best quarterback in order to get paid. Otherwise, Patrick Mahomes would be at the top of that list every single year. Dak's proven his value to the Dallas Cowboys again and again and again. Yeah, take a look at who got paid.
Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield's on there.
Look at that. Look at that.
Prescott has been the quarterback for the Cowboys, what, 6-7 years now? Where has there been a scenario where at the end of the day you said, I got my quarterback.
Okay, so what about the roster around him? They don't go out and spend money in free agency. They draft and develop like a Super Bowl caliber team. But that's on them. They don't go and put pieces. This is a worse team right now than it was a year ago. Where's the run game? Where's the offensive line? You're going to pin that all on Dak Prescott this year? He was a runner-up for the MVP last year, 3-time Pro Bowler, #1 scoring offense last season, #2 in point differential. You're just going to like say, oh, that stuff doesn't matter because it happened during the regular season. We shouldn't pay him.
And Courtney, when the chips were in the middle of the table, when he was playing in a wild card round, when the chips were in the middle of the table, how did he play?
He threw a pick 6 last year, and his defense gave up 40 points.
2 pick 6s. He threw 2 pick 6s in a playoff game.
Okay, Mad
When
Dog.
he was there to help the Cowboys, did he do his part? When he was there 2 years ago against San Francisco in a championship game, was he outplayed by Brock?
Mad Dog, was he the one who drew up the play at the final moment of the game that had Ezekiel Elliott snapping him the ball? We're going to put that on him?
He didn't even know the rule.
Neither did his coach.
Yeah, neither did his head coach. Why do you think he's on the hot?
We can kill McCarthy all day. I have no problem with that.
They didn't know
the
rules.
But the quarterback did not know the rule about making sure the umpire touches the ball. He's the quarterback making $50 million a year, and he didn't know the rules.
I need you to get out these pockets,
I'm with you, Mad Dog. I'm with you, and I get it as far as the playoff success and not being clutch, right? In the biggest moments, he's not playing as well as a great regular season quarterback. But what is your other option? Where are these other quarterbacks? Who are they? What's the game plan?
Because here,
there's no one else. Who are you going to get?
To Molly's point, good organizations do not wait until they're in this situation where they have their star quarterback, their star wide receiver, and their star defensive player all like, hey, you need to pay me. Teams, very good teams, well-run teams, will get ahead of this. They will forecast and say, oh, you know what? We know that the market is going to keep going up. So before it goes up to a point where we're not trying to pay, let's get some of these contracts taken care of so we now have them on the cheap, so we look really smart in a couple of years when the market goes up. We saw the wide receivers market. CeeDee Lamb still looking for a deal. Dak, no other team, when you look at Buffalo, when you look at the Chiefs, when even the Jets were like, hey, this is our guy. And Aaron Rodgers looks like a discount, right, based on what he's getting paid right now.
He does.
So when you look at the Cowboys, it's like, if this is your franchise guy, then you lock him up. No other team.
I know the most.
No other team functions like this. So when you put it all on Dak, I'm looking at ownership. I'm looking at the guy who kept Jason Garrett for 10 years when we're doing the 8-8 and we're doing the 9-7 and where are we going? And if you don't like Mike McCarthy, who hired him after having a sleepover? That was Jerry Jones.
There's blame to go around with the Cowboys. I don't disagree with you about that. Jones has done a horrendous job. He's never had a big head coach. He had Parcells that one run because he wanted to get that stadium built, and he needed Parcells to give them credibility with the franchise. That's the only time. Dave Campo, Jason, McCarthy, Wade Phillips, you're 1,000% correct. So Jones does
digging in the vault, digging in the vault.
He does not.
Encyclopedia right there.
Yeah, there it is. He doesn't go unscathed. I'm with you. But to sit there and say that Dak
could have had
Prescott,
Belichick as his head coach,
and he did a terrible job at that. We agree. No argument. But to sit there and tell me that Dak Prescott, what is he, 2-6 in the postseason? Or what, 2-5, 2-6? And he has not been distinguishable in the postseason at all. And that's what you get paid for.
This is what I think the move should be. I think the Dallas Cowboys should draft Shedeur Sanders.
Oh, no.
Should be their quarterback with Dion
out there
down in Texas. Let's get Shedeur and Dion with the Dallas Cowboys. They're going to stay right in the headlines and have Dak come on to New York City, the Big Apple. He'll make a ton of money even if he doesn't win games.
Oh, so you're down on Daniel Jones.
I was about to say, I thought Daniel Jones was your guy.
Daniel Jones was Molly's guy. All of a sudden, we want Dak to be our quarterback.
I would like Dak as my quarterback. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it's funny. Has Dak ever played a game in the postseason as good as Jones did against Minnesota?
Whoa, no! I was there. Stop it!
Stop it!
Stop it!
He played a good game against Minnesota. Kirk Cousins stepping down caused them to win that game.
Courtney, that was
whoa.
Courtney, that was a fourth fourth down play when the game was over.
No, Mad Dog, I will
And
not
he
let
checked
you.
down to the sticks.
I will.
I agree
He
with
checked down to the sticks. Do we watch the same game?
Somebody put the stats up on Daniel Jones against Minnesota.
This is my concern with Daniel Jones, though, is all the injuries. It's all the injuries that concern.
Mad Dog, as a history buff, for you to come on here and lie to the American people.
Okay, so I told you what's going to happen.
As somebody who was at that game, covered that game, Daniel Jones did not win that game for them.
Oh, he played well.
Dak Prescott would be great in New York.
Okay, Molly. Okay, Molly.
He would have been great in that playoff game.
Where is the playoff game, Brandy? Give me the statistics.
Okay, Brandy's the director.
I know.
Okay, so that's not her job.